You don't need to wait for the first of the year. You don't need to wait for a Monday. Stop waiting till you feel ready. You're never going to be ready. Life is hard. It's continually going to throw obstacles and hurdles at you. So I encourage you actually to challenge yourself to get started more so when it's hard, more so when you're the most busy. Because if you can create the habits and do it then when life is easy and you're coasting through, then it's even easier.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rebel Show with Bree Mesquit. I'm Bree Mesquit, and I have the honor of having my husband, Chance Mesquit, on with me today. And what we're going to be talking about is our health and fitness journey. At the time of this recording, we are at, to the day, our 1 year mark of embarking on our health and fitness journey and really prioritizing getting in shape, getting healthy, and especially getting healthy up here. So I will let Chance share first why it is that he wanted to get started on his journey. Then I will share why I got started on this journey as well.
What really got me started was listening to Bedros Keuilian. That really helped flip a switch. And we're just at a point in our business that I just felt like I needed to do something more to keep up with our business, really, and to just be a better father, a better leader, a better partner, a better asset to the team. And listening to Bedros Keuilian really kicked that in gear for me. And then, it just flipped that switch. And then 1 year, later today, it just was our daily routine, and life is so much easier and better being physically fit and dropping 75 pounds. Yeah. I did.
He's down 75. I'm down 65. And we still have a little ways to go for sure, but
yeah. So, that was my motivation, if you want to call it motivation. Motivation turned into discipline, and it was just every day was just, that's what we did, even if I didn't want to do it, if there's things coming up and life getting in the way, we did whatever we had to do to stay active, every day. If it was the gym or at home or eating cleaner and eating healthier and just, going, getting after it.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I definitely had one of those rock bottom points. I had that moment. I was just like, F this. I am so done. I'm so done feeling the way I feel. I'm done missing out on activities. When we would be invited to certain things, the first thing that would come to mind is, I don't want to do that because what am I going to wear? Or I'm embarrassed to show up looking. I would look in the mirror and see this didn't match who I was on the inside. And then especially starting to build a presence online. We started going to trade shows, looking back at pictures and stuff. I was just really, and it's not just all the aesthetics, okay? There's so much more to that, especially now that we're a year into our journey. But looking, I wasn't proud of the person that I had become at all. And I knew I wanted to get to the next level. And in order to get to that next level, I needed to level myself up. And it really did. I've always been big into listening to podcast stuff, but I started really being intentional about it in the mornings. I discovered Bedros first, I believe, on TikTok. He's now our business coach. We've been working with him for 6 months, which is insane. Yeah. That's a result that came from focusing on our health and fitness. I would have never stepped out to even embark on this journey at all with him as our coach. So cool. But anyways, I was really intentional about listening to his podcast and putting them on in the morning when I was brushing my teeth and just getting ready. And he really sparked that fire in me to you want something different, then go after it. It's up to you to get it. So we started creating that discipline, but there was a defining moment for sure. Chance and I, at this point of this story, we're actually packaging. Right now, we're in our 3,500 square foot warehouse in our new office that he built me. I feel like a princess. It's amazing. I love it. It's incredible. So there was a point when we were actually packaging orders and fulfilling orders and shipping from our salon space. So right now we're in our warehouse. We also have a salon here in Bend as well. And I was taking a client. Chance was working on orders, and my nose started bleeding. And I was like, what the heck? I was doing a lash client. My nose started bleeding. I've never gotten a nosebleed before. I was like, this is really weird. I didn't really think too much of it, but I excused myself from the treatment room, walked out. He looked really freaked out because I hadn't seen it yet, but it was pretty bad. So we walked to the bathroom. I had like, what do you call those?
Blood clots.
Blood clots. Yes. Thank you. I almost said clogs, but I had blood clots, literally this big, looking like big old, it looked like my brains were coming out.
Scary.
Like, it was really scary.
You bled in your client's hair too.
Oh, thank you for bringing that. I wasn't going to bring that part up, but since he wanted to put me on blast, and I'm just kidding. So we were in the bathroom. He was helping me. We were trying to like get it to stop. Like, it was bad, you guys. And then I continued to go on with what I was doing. My client, she was so sweet because I needed to get the tape off her eyes, and like I tried to just power through and complete the service because I didn't realize how bad it really was. So my client grabbed tampons. I shoved them up my nose. I'm like, let's just get this done. Like, I'm gonna finish your service. But I bled through those tampons in under a minute, and it just started, and I bled in her hair, and she was blonde. Worst case scenario. Like, Brittany, if you're watching this, I love you. Thank you so much for not just like completely like, I don't know, tossing me out, man. That was wild. That was pretty gross, and I appreciate you.
Too, right?
She came back. She still came back. Anyways, it started to get pretty scary. I guess I turned white.
It was just red and white, and just, it was bad.
And blue. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're bleeding all over the place. It was pretty scary.
Yeah, we started to get nervous because we were at like 15, 20 minute mark at that point, and it was still heavily bleeding. Anyways,
luckily the emergency room was just right down the street.
Yeah, we had urgent care. It was right next to the salon. So we decided, no, I think I need to go seek some. We probably got on Google and was like, what do you do if your nose has been bleeding this heavily, whatever. So we went to urgent care. My blood pressure was through the roof, like beyond stroke level. So it was actually a huge blessing that I did have this nosebleed because I didn't realize I had been having really scary high blood pressure for probably a long time, and we didn't even realize it. So they wanted me to send me to the emergency room. They were really afraid of a stroke, but I booked an appointment with my doctor, and I ended up having to get on blood pressure medication. Yeah. And I was like, that hit me. I was like, wow, I knew it was weight related. I knew it was. I wanted to lie to myself for a little bit and say it was stress related because of work and us building our business and stuff and kids and all things. That was BS. It was excuses. It was weight related. I had completely let my health go. So I think that was a really big eye opener for me.
Yeah,
at
definitely.
That point. And I was like,
for both of us, I mean, that was scary. And I think that's when we really started our journey on the weight loss and getting healthy. And and to go back to like keeping up with the business, we just didn't have the energy to like package, all day long. And we were packaging in the salon and bringing it down the stairs and loading it up in the trucks and dropping it off. And just the trade shows, the energy there just wasn't there. We were just dragging ourselves through each day, and it sucked. Yeah. And that was a big eye opener. And then we're just like, let's get to the gym and start doing something.
If you have no idea where to start, and this is you and you relate to that story, like, where the heck do we begin? That's something that was hard at first, is like, I don't even know where to begin. We've created such bad habits for so long. Like, we didn't even know what good habits to try to start to build and instill into our life. So of course, the first thing you always say it's, and sign up for a gym membership. So I went to Planet Fitness.
Well, at first we ordered some stuff off Amazon and had a garage little setup.
Oh yeah, we set up
And
a whole garage gym.
Yeah, and then got some stuff off Facebook Marketplace, and then
Yeah.
like a treadmill, and then that elliptical, and we were doing that. But then when you have a home gym, you're not motivated, or you don't want to do it as much because it's just there.
Yeah.
So then that's when you signed up for Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
And I dragged my feet because I just didn't want to go to Planet Fitness. And then eventually I did. And then we kind of stepped it up from there and found a pretty good gym.
Yeah.
That we were still going to today.
So we just started looking into like online programs. It's really important to have structure and some sort of guide. So currently right now I am doing Booty King. That's his name on Instagram. But I'm doing his 12-week program. But there's so many programs out there. So I really encourage that. Follow a program. If you're going into the gym, like, because at first I wasn't following a program. So we'd go and I had such like gym anxiety or whatever you want to call it. It was something new, right? I was stepping outside of my comfort zone, felt really uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do at the gym. And then also showing up so overweight, I just like, it's almost like imposter syndrome too, I would say. But I showed up and I would just stay on the treadmill because I'm like, it's safe here. No one's watching me. And I'd like put a podcast or my headphones and listen to music. And that's good. That's a starting point. But weightlifting and building muscle, that's what helps create sustainability. And really you'll start seeing some changes both in your physical state, but your mental state too. Like I absolutely love throwing around some heavy weights now. But that's what I was doing at first at the gym until I found a program that I could follow. And so many programs, most of them now have videos for you guys to follow. So you might not understand, like if it says bicep curl, you might not know what that is. So they have, video instructions and something to follow for you to follow. And it gives you a breakdown of every day, how many sets, how many reps, teaches you what a set is, teaches you what reps are. You guys might not even have ever heard that term before, and that's okay. So, but my biggest encouragement, something we learned from the work or the event that we went to in Utah this weekend is just get started before you're even ready. Just do it. Just get started. You don't, and if the gym isn't your thing, then start going for a walk. Just make one change. Replace your croissant and your bagels. We used to just carb up so heavy in the morning for a protein shake. Make one adjustment like that. I encourage you guys after watching this episode to write down one nutritional change you're going to make, and it's something simple, and one physical change you're going to make, something simple, and start implementing that tomorrow. Start tomorrow, okay? Start Tuesday. It doesn't need to be a Monday. You don't need to wait for the first of the year. You don't need to wait for a Monday. Stop waiting till you feel ready. You're never going to be ready. Life is hard. It's continually going to throw obstacles and hurdles at you. So I encourage you actually to challenge yourself to get started more so when it's hard, more so when you're the most busy. Because if you can create the habits and do it then when life is easy and you're coasting through, then it's even easier. And that's something that we've heard Alex Hermosi say, who I highly recommend you guys listening to him as well. He's great.
He's awesome.
Yeah. And you want to find your people that deliver. I'm starting to see how much it's all the same messaging. It's just the different deliveries. Yeah. So like Bedros is very like man's man, like yelling at you. I personally love that. That's not how I deliver information though. But that might not be how you receive your information. Maybe you need someone more. Who else is there that we like?
Tony Robbins,
Ed Milet.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more empathetic and. But it's all the same messaging, you guys. It's all about creating discipline, doing the hard thing, even when you don't feel like it, and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Yeah,
definitely. And I think with all that, like just showing up at the gym and getting healthy, that's when our business started taking off. And like, it just, we had more confidence. You started showing up on Instagram and online a lot more, and you're just ready to go. And I think, showing up at these trade shows and getting in the same room as like some of these people that we look up to and stuff, we just have more confidence. And I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. Absolutely. So it was really cool, actually. Not too long ago, Chance and I wrote down our monthly revenue from 2020 when we first started our product based business. Every single month, wrote down the revenue through now. And now every month I actually write down, I have multiple papers now. And April of last year, so this is, like I mentioned, this is the 1 year mark. April of last year, when I looked at our revenue, looked at May and then June, July, we have consistently been increasing our revenue every single month from the moment we decided to take our health and fitness seriously. And the thing is, though, too, is that we weren't necessarily seeing physical results right away, but almost immediately we started experiencing
Just
mental
yeah, just feel
results.
well, yeah. That dopamine that we would release at the gym and just feeling like we accomplished and stacking those wins, and that's a win going to the gym. Like Bedros, our coach says, like just getting up at that first alarm is a win. You
Not
know,
pressing the
yeah,
snooze
not
button.
pressing the snooze button, getting up, getting ready, going to the gym is a huge win.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start off your day, and it makes you in a mindset of just like focused and ready and healthier feeling.
Yeah.
And just yeah, I mean, we didn't start noticing. I think it was like a couple weeks ago, really, with the clothes
I know.
change and stuff, and
It's probably been a couple months now, but yeah, it's weird. Like
having
I'd
to
say
get new
9 months
clothes.
in is when we were like, okay, we need new pants. Like they're falling
Yeah,
off, and
well, it hit
like,
me like I think probably about a month ago when I had to get new clothes and stuff.
yeah,
That's when it really started. Like I started really seeing myself in a different light.
yeah. And it wasn't like the comfort, like you literally needed new
Yeah, I was
clothes. Like
done
they
doing the fat
weren't.
guy like tugs on my shirts, like
Yeah,
making them, stretching them out before I put them on, and
yeah,
so
yeah,
it definitely and then, people would tell us like, "Oh, you guys are looking great. You guys are looking great." And we felt way better, but we just didn't see it until, a month or two ago.
yeah.
And yeah.
All right, now let's talk about some of the challenges because it's not all rainbows and butterflies. And especially when it comes to those that are closest to us. And when you start initially making those changes, some of the pushbacks and negative, responses we can get, friends, family, all of that. So I'll start that off with you are the sum of the top 5 people that you spend the majority of your time with. So if you take everyone's income, divide it by 5 and take that average, that's going to be your income level. If you take all their health and their fitness and all that and you divide, you're the average of that. And it's so true. Looking back now, especially on pictures of the activities we used to partake in, the drinking, the
Yeah.
overeating, just always seeking to like consume. We
Just
were always
consume,
just
yeah.
consuming, but looking at the people we were surrounding ourselves with, we started to become and look like them,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
act like them, and have the results that they were having as well. And
Yeah.
that wasn't our aspiration. And nothing wrong. Okay. There's nothing wrong with these people individually. They just didn't have the same values or the same goals that we
Yeah.
had.
It's all the goals, yeah.
So it wasn't
Exactly.
helping. It wasn't congruent with where we wanted to go. So I really encourage you guys to take a good, truthful, hard look at who you're spending the majority of your time with. And if they're people that you aspire to be, awesome. Like keep with that crowd. If not, then you have some hard decisions to make. So I think one of the big things we did, especially once we did, and this was a little bit into our journey,
Yeah.
but once we decided to start working with Bedros and hire him on as our business coach, we warned everyone in our life, hey, this is going to be a season of no for us. We're going to have to say no to a lot of like extras that we normally would say yes to, the going out on a Friday night and drinking or having people over at our house and getting wasted and eating junk food, whatever we were up
Whatever
to
it
and
was.
doing.
And I think you choose the ones that are close to you and your close friends and your loved ones, and you just you have that conversation with them and tell them, your vision and your goal and where you want to go in life, and then you let them know like, hey, like, I love you and I care about you, and that's why I'm going to fill you in on this. Like there's going to be a lot of no's, there's going to be a lot of changes, but don't have that conversation unless you're like really ready to make those changes and flip that switch
Yeah.
and really get after it. Because then, and then you let the ones that you want to know, and then the rest kind of just fall off. Really.
They remove themselves from your life
Yeah,
because now you're not congruent with their lifestyle
for
anymore
sure.
either.
Yeah.
And that can be hard because
Yeah.
they are people that we care about and love. But it's just hard. We also, and I'm still working towards this. I'm not fully there yet, but I know that I can't put myself in certain environments or situations and be solid and strong enough to not partake in those things. Like, I know myself that I can be easily influenced based on my environment. Now, I feel like with my husband, once he decides like that's it, and like I really admire him for that. Like I don't know if you want to share a little bit. Like, he hasn't been drinking, and he can be out. We'll go to dinner and I'll order a drink here and there still, and like that doesn't.
Yeah, I'm just on such like a strict mission with my health and my life right now at this point that I look at it like I've given so many years to drinking and eating like shit and doing all the things that I've wanted to do, that like now it's time to not do all those things and really just live like a healthy, like strong physical life, and become the best version of myself that I've ever been. Hit that 2.0 version of myself and become the best, business leader, best husband, best, leader to my kids, and just be there,
Yeah.
10x everything.
And that's a huge motivation is our children.
Yeah.
I started to look back on my childhood and seeing how much I was surrounded by adults that very much normalized the I'm not trying to say alcohol is just like a debt, like whatever. Everyone has their own decisions to make, but the overconsumption of it, and you can overconsume anything. It doesn't have to be just alcohol.
And that's the whole thing. Yeah. And on this mission, like I just cut out anything that's not going to help me towards my goal.
Yeah.
Towards my end goal. Like I could order her a drink if she wants one. I go up to the bar and order. I don't have like a problem with it. It's just, it's not going to help towards my goals that I set for myself. Yeah. And I flipped that switch. Yeah. And I flipped that switch, and I really meant that when I flipped that switch. It's something that I really hold close to my heart and in my head, and just that I'm just on a mission.
Next, we'll share with you guys some actionable steps that you guys can actually take and implement. So some of our lifestyle changes was, first of all, bringing people in that had more knowledge of this and have achieved what it is that we wanted to achieve, having them coach us up. So we went to a local nutrition shop here, Ben Max Nutrition. Shout out to Dominic. He's awesome. Dominic is actually his middle name too. I don't know why I brought that up. But it's true.
It's true.
But anyways, we went there. We started buying some supplement. We asked him, hey, this is our goals. This is where we're at. What should we do? So at first we were just more of customers and all that. But then when we really decided to go all in, we did hire him for his nutritional services. So we'd go in and get our it's called a DEXA scan. So it's a body scan. So it actually tells you your weight, but beyond your weight, stop getting hung up on the scale, okay? I've been at the same weight for the past 3 months, but I've had insane changes in my body to the point where I've gone down. I think I'm in a size 5 now, and I started off at a size 16. But during those 3 months, I went from a size like 10 down to a size 5, even though the weight on the number on the scale has stayed the same. So this scan, what it does is it tells you your body fat, and then your lean mass, so your muscle, and then your water weight as well.
Yep.
So look up for a DEXA scan near you. And Dominic only it's $5 to do this scan. Yeah. And now we do it weekly. But then beyond that, so we needed to know where our starting point was. So that was a big thing.
We kind of just needed to we were hitting the gym and losing weight, but then we needed to get our nutrition lined up and dialed in.
That's what we were struggling with. So
then, we went there, and he set us up on a nutrition plan, and, we stuck to it the best of our ability, and we're still doing it. Taking the
Every Wednesday.
every Wednesday
Go
we go in.
weigh in and make adjustments as needed, because as you lose, so you need to find your macros. That's what I guess the bottom line, the actionable thing. And there's tons of free macro calculators online, so you can do that and calculate out your macros. Download an app called MyFitnessPal. You plug in your macros based on what the calculator online tells you, and then just track everything. So I know it's a pain in the butt at first. We're very busy, but you need, if this is a goal of yours, you got to prioritize it. So tracking, and then now I don't track every day, because I've started to learn, like, if I do this and like whatever, like I know I'm going to hit my goals. But at the beginning, you need to start tracking so that you guys can actually know how to gauge like serving sizes. You will be so surprised. Like when I started, actually, we got a food scale and started like actually weighing out our protein, because I'm on 6 ounces. What are you? Like,
I'm on 8 ounces.
Yeah. So per meal, like that's how much protein.
Yeah.
But weighing that out, I'm like, oh my gosh.
The rice, the carbs.
Yeah. Okay. The carbs was the biggest thing. The rice.
Yeah.
When he did because I was on 3/4 of a cup.
3, yeah.
So he measured, I'm like, what the heck is this lame little ball of whatever?
Yeah.
So I was definitely overeating. But once we started working out and then we eat more often, like I'm full.
Yeah.
Like actually I have a hard time sometimes getting all the food in. For sure.
Yeah, I'm not anymore. I'm still hungry after all 3.
He'll eat my my leftovers.
But yeah.
Or not leftovers, but I guess leftovers, whatever.
Well, you should be eating them. But then you did get lined up with Nina.
Yeah, and now I'm working with Nina, because Dominic is more focused with bodybuilders, and he's very like it's the same thing every day. And and that did well for me for a little while, but then I needed more options. So like some mornings, every morning though, I do a protein shake. That's like, because we're so busy in the morning, we have our kids. So I do a pre-made protein shake. So there's no excuse. I grab it from the fridge and move on with our morning. But I needed more options when it came to the other meals, and especially like eating out. So you need to make sure that your program also follows your lifestyle. So, but I think the takeaway from this whole thing is just, it's like hire out some help if needed, and get
there's so much information on YouTube and online and stuff. So
utilize that as well.
But we just like hands-on, like, so if you're like that too, and you need somebody there to like physically tell you and write stuff down for you, then seek out a nutrition shop. And I think most of them do that. The scan for the most part, but yeah.
But also, I think I really thrive on like the accountability factor too.
Yeah.
So I like knowing that, like, and sometimes when we're out
it's
and
a
about,
competition.
Well, I wasn't gonna say
it's
that.
When we go to the scale
last week, I beat him by a pound of fat.
Yeah, she beat me.
Yeah,
see?
I beat him.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was gonna say, like we'll be out eating, and I like go to order like, I don't know, a brownie or something, right? He's like, Dominic's behind you, and I'm like, oh shit, and get all nervous. And he's pulled that on me a few times, so I'm like, but the accountability is huge. So whether it's someone you hire or have like your spouse, it's so hard to do this alone. So if you can try to get your spouse on board, I think that's
huge. What's made it the easiest part is we're on the same page. We're on board with it. And then, you want to talk a little bit about friends and family. Like, that's the hardest part, is because people knew who you were. And then when you change and do drastic changes like this, people aren't going to know how to respond to it. Yeah. So they're going to be negative at first. Or you got those friends and family that are like, hell yeah, like I want to jump on board too.
Yeah.
And then you inspire them to do that. And then you're there to help them out along the way. But, I would suggest just with those families, the family or friends that are negative, that you just keep doing it. You know your reasons, and you have your goals. They have different goals, and they have different reasons to be doing what they're doing. Yeah. But you keep those in the forefront of your head when these people are saying negative things. And I've had so many friends like, oh, I missed the old chance. Yeah. Like, why can't you just have a beer? Like, I missed the old chance. I'm sure you do, like, but I don't.
Yeah.
And this is my life. I'm living it for myself and my family. I'm not living it for that beer that, isn't going to do anything for me with you,
Yeah.
or that like that shitty food or whatever it is,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, it might feel good to pick up that beer or pick up that, I don't know, whatever food
Whatever,
that
yeah.
isn't on your program, isn't helping you towards your goal. In that moment, it can feel great.
Oh,
But
yeah.
afterwards, man, you feel like crap. You're like, you let yourself down. You didn't stick to what you committed to
For
do. And
sure.
that's stacking losses. So like
Yeah.
one of the big things with our coaches, he's so big on stacking wins, like
Wins,
little
yep.
wins. So like not pressing the snooze button, starting your day with protein, starting your day with working out,
Drinking your 8 ounces of water
yeah,
in the
drinking
morning.
your water. We're
Yeah.
on supplements. We worked with 10x Health to take genetic testing and blood testing to
Yeah.
get supplements needed that we were missing, which helps us feel better, which helps us perform better in the gym, which helps us sleep better. Like, so really just taking all of it seriously, but stacking those wins. And then when you do those things, you're stacking losses, and like attracts like. So the more losses you stack, the more losses you're going to actually like subconsciously seek out. But then also the opposite is true too. Stacking wins, you're naturally going to continue to look for more wins. They can be very little things, but they all add up and help push you further closer to your goal. Another thing that I really think helped us too is a change of environment.
For
Or
sure.
changing up our environment. So we did a drastic change because we had a pretty unique living situation. We were sharing when we moved states, we weren't sure how finances were going to look. I was still traveling back and forth to my salon in California for 2 years. It was a really rough season. I was going through my oldest daughter's dad, try to get full custody again. It was a lot. It was really, really hard. It was a hard season. I would never want to revisit. But anyways, the whole point of that is that we decided to purchase a home with our family, and it was a huge blessing. It was a great, it helped us. It was a stepping stone.
It served its purpose.
It served its purpose 100%.
Yeah.
But then it started to get really hard as our kids got a little bit older. Our business was growing. It wasn't serving us anymore. And it was actually hindering us. And not because of the people we were sharing the house with, just the environment of lack of space and, knowing that we're
there's 5 of us all together.
Five of us too. That it was a lot. So it was time.
We needed our own
change.
space.
Yep. So
sure.
that was drastic. We actually literally changed our environment by moving. And I really think that's a life hack though, because we are such creatures of habit that the habits that we created in that home, we continued, but we started on our journey probably a couple weeks to a month before we made that move. So then when we moved into our new house, our morning routine was not pressing the snooze button, listening to podcasts as we're getting ready. And now we weren't bothering anyone else now with the noise of that.
We didn't have to worry about it.
We didn't have to worry about that. Being in the kitchen, because the way our old house was set up, and we were all on different shifts, night shift, day shift, whatever. So we're trying to tiptoe around the kitchen. So we weren't cooking our own meals, things like that. But we created those habits in this new environment. And then now that's just what we do because we're creatures of habits, both with good habits and bad habits. So if you're unable to make a drastic change, and this is actually a life hack that Alex Ramosi and Layla talk about all the time.
Move all the time
they'll move to a different apartment and purposely create new habits the day they get into that new spot, and then that's just what they continue to do.
We totally understand that now.
Yeah, that was the biggest turning point for us for sure. But if you're unable to do that, do a complete purge of your home. Get rid of old stuff, declutter, maybe rearrange your furniture, create a new environment within the same home that you're already in. Because I know it's not always plausible for you to fully move. I mean, even getting our new car, I feel like we've created new habits just having a new car.
Yeah, sure.
It's so weird. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone out there that can share the psychology of this, but that was a huge hack, was changing our environment, both where you physically live, and then again, back to the people that you're surrounding yourself with and the extracurricular activities that you're participating in as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Fist bump. Now that we're at the 1 year mark, what's your future goals when it comes to health and fitness?
Just to stay in it, just to keep going. I mean, just I don't know about future goals, but I just take my days at a time and just to keep doing what I'm doing and become better leader, even better husband, a better father, and to learn more and to accumulate more, you know, tools in my belt, and just to see where this goes, become the best 2.0 version of myself.
Sweet. I like it.
How about you?
For me, I feel like I kind of got to like this plateau. So I want to step up and when it comes to like in the gym and stuff. And then I would really like to partake in some activities that
Yeah.
I didn't do for a long time
there you
because
go.
of my weight. So I would love like a goal for this next year, maybe joining like a co-ed like softball, like slow pitch,
Yeah, that'd be
softball
cool.
league could be fun.
Yeah.
But also I'd really like to start being intentional, especially with Riley, who's our oldest. She's 13. And she's struggling with a few health issue things too. I would love to start figuring out how to like help her
Bring them along the journey.
bring her along, and then like figure out with our schedule and stuff to get her into the gym with me so that she can just find a love for taking care of her body and fitness and nutrition. So I think that's my next step, is now pouring in to others, starting with first my family and then you guys, and teaching you. I'm not an expert by any means. Like, we've only been on this journey for a year. We were both very athletic though in high school. So I feel like we're kind of like re-sparking that
for
in
sure.
ourselves. So we do have longer than I'd say a year of like actually having experience with like health and fitness and stuff. But anyways, I'd really like to pour it into others and just continue to share tips and tricks with other people, and then do some fun activities. I don't know what that may be. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
I think I just want to keep pursuing like what I've been doing, just the gym, jiu-jitsu. I might pick up Muay Thai
oh yeah, he
and
started doing jujitsu.
maybe get a cage fight underneath my belt or something. I don't know.
Sweet.
We'll
That's
see. Start
scary.
doing competitions
I don't want you to like get hurt.
just to do it because I still have that,
Yeah.
that I feel like it was unfinished business because that's what I used to do when I was like 16, 15, 16 years old. And I kind of just abandoned it for a shitty lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
And actually I have a similar story. I was in jiu-jitsu, super involved. I would ditch school to go to train and roll. But then I ended up becoming pregnant and I was a teen mom, and that's been in my past. So that might be something I might want to partake in again as well. But yeah, just not having limitations, I think.
Yeah.
It's like not
Just kinda
allowing
open.
my body, our mental state, our physical state, any of it to keep us from doing anything that it is that we want to do, and just show up better for each other, for our kids, and for you guys.
For sure.
All right. Well, that is it. Thank you, babe, for doing this with me.
You're
It was
welcome.
fun.
No, thank you.
This is
This
his
was cool.
first podcast
Yeah.
episode.
It's
with
weird for me to look into the camera and not be talking just to you, or have our drive conversations.
Well, you did. Yeah. We need to have like a dash cam or something, because we have some solid conversations in the car on our drives, both to dropping off the kids at school and on our way here to the warehouse. But
Yeah.
I hope you guys found something of value through this. I encourage you guys, pick one physical change or something to implement and one nutritional. It doesn't have to be big. Stop trying to go all in, all up front. This is sustainability and a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
So sometimes some people thrive on jumping all in. Most of us need small changes over time. So pick one physical, one nutritional, implement it starting tomorrow. DM me, let me know how it's going. Let me know if I can support you in any way. And if you liked this episode, you found value, please share it and make sure you like, follow, and subscribe.